In 1620, while the Mayflower was in Provincetown, 18 of its men sailed in a small shallop, searching for a place to live. They came to present-day Eastham, where they were met by a group of Nauset. After a brief but violent encounter, the English left towards today's Plymouth. In 2020, we remember this first encounter. We explore its meanings for today and tomorrow.
Good evening. Welcome to our Sunset series. Tonight, I'm happy to welcome Robin Wessman, who's a full-time artist here in Eastham. Welcome, Robin.
Thanks, Tom.
To get us started, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? What inspired you to become an artist, and why are you here in Eastham?
Sure. So I spent a lot of time on the Cape as a child growing up. I didn't live on the Cape when I was young, but I came here probably every year. Over the time, I spent a lot of time at Nickerson State Park camping with the family, so I really spent most of my time at this end of the Cape. I really enjoyed coming out to Eastham, to the Cape Cod National Seashore. Later on, I ended up going to Cape Cod Community College, and actually that's where I got the inspiration for art. I've always enjoyed drawing and painting, and when I was at the college, I started an art club, and we got a sponsor from the local high school over in Barnstable. Ed Bolton was the high school teacher, and he came over. He was great. He inspired me to put a portfolio together, which I did. I ended up applying to a number of schools, and next thing you know, I'm enrolled in an art program, and I spent the next 6 years studying art. I went on and continued painting from that point until today. I moved, actually, we came to Eastham after I got married and had a family and started bringing my children here, just to be near the seashore, really. And the Cape Cod National Seashore is just fantastic. So we love this area. As I said, we've been here for the last 30 years, and I'm still here and enjoying it and plan to be here for a long time.
Well, we're very lucky to have you here. So I understand you're involved with the Eastham Painters Guild. Could you tell us something about that? Because I know you're going to show us some paintings,
Yep.
but tell us about
Absolutely. So I joined the Eastham Painters Guild about 5 years ago, and I tell you, it's a great organization. So this has been together for about 40 years. They're celebrating their 40-year anniversary this year. It originally started as a small group back in 1980 when they were looking for a way that they could put a group together who could socialize, do things together as a group, paint, sell their work, and also be involved with the community. So this past year, of course, it's been a lot different with the virus and so forth, but we had actually 5 events planned for the community. We had to cancel 3 of them, so 2 of them still remain. The first one is plein air painting, which we do every week. We go out to various locations. And the second one is an exhibit based on 400 years on the Cape. This was with the first encounter, of course. But anyway, we had put together a show. It's some history of Eastham in association, tied it into the 400-year commemoration. And this has been something that we put online, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of those paintings
Okay,
today.
so let's, instead of looking at us old men, let's look at some nice pictures. So
Absolutely.
let's talk us through, we're going to see some images now, and if you could tell us the name of each one and what you'd like to say.
Okay, sure. So starting off, the first painting is Nauset Sachem Aspenette by Jody Schilberg. So this painting is an image of the Aspenette as the artist would have imagined it based on some earlier documents. So he was a sachem, or a chief of the Nauset tribe of the Wampanoags back in 1620. So the sachem was elected to the tribe to settle disputes and represent them in negotiations. It was Aspenette who found and returned unharmed a 6-year-old pilgrim boy who had wandered from the Plymouth settlement. John Billington was his name. So there's now a street actually in Eastham called Aspenette. So the next painting is Overlook by me, Robin Wessman. So it's said that the name Thumpertown in North Eastham originated from an old-time revival meetings once held in the area. In the mid-1800s, a 10-acre lot in North Eastham played host to some spirited revival meetings on the beach. And some of the largest revivals drew in thousands of people to the area. Worshippers came from all over Cape Cod and also as far away as Boston. So the next painting is At the Shore by Ron Edson. So salt water had been long thought to have healing powers, and though the early settlers didn't go into the water very often, Cape Cod did become a summer haven for city dwellers beginning around the end of the 19th century. With improved rail transportation, it made towns of the Cape accessible to Bostonians who wanted to escape the summer heat and then plunge into the water. And of course, now we know Cape Cod has become a favorite vacation spot worldwide. The next painting is Dill, Dusk, Cottage by Willow Shire. So the Thomas Dill Beach Camp was built in 1936 and is now preserved and furnished as it was when it was used as a hunting and a fishing camp. It sat on the outermost beach just south of Coast Guard Station. And that camp survived, believe it or not, the blizzard of 1978. It was later moved to its present location in 1995 on the grounds of the Swift Daily House, which is on Route 6. And this is also listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Moving right along, the next painting is Dusk at First Encounter by Pat Nickerson. So the earliest contacts between the Wampanoag and Europeans occurred during the 1500s as fishing boats and trading vessels roamed the New England coast. The most famous contact between the Wampanoag and the Puritans from the Mayflower was back in December of 1620 on this beach, which we now call First Encounter. The beach is where where the natives responded with arrows into the Pilgrims' camp for earlier stealing corn and robbing some graves. It was at that time that the Pilgrims decided to move to Plymouth. Next painting is Golden Morning by Marianne Tessier. One of the biggest barrier islands in the world, Cape Cod shields much of the Massachusetts coastline from the North Atlantic storm waves. This protection erodes the Cape's shoreline at the expense of its cliffs while protecting towns from Fairhaven to Marshfield. The morning sunrises and evening sunsets are some of the most spectacular in the world, and people line up on the beaches in the summer to witness their beauty. Kingsbury Beach is a painting by John Dillon. So the low tide on Cape Cod Bay is the perfect time to dig for clams. Little necks, cherry stones, and quahogs are all the same clam, but they're just different sizes. Quahogs are the largest, and they live 4 to 6 inches below the surface of the sand. Anyone can get a license and a clam rake and go out into the sand flats to dig for clams to make their own chowder. At low tide, the flats go out so far that the people seem to almost disappear in the distance. Next painting is titled Looking by Rebecca Gamoose. Beachcombing is as old as humans that have lived on the shore. Debris from shipwrecks were considered fair game, and early settlers used to fill their homes with the items found on the beach. Mooncussers, on the other hand, were pirates who sent out false homing signals to the ships at sea during the evenings to lure them off course and crash on the shore, where they would loot them. Next painting is Pennyman House by Elaine Lobey. Captain Pennyman was born in Eastham in 1831 and went on to be a very successful sea captain of whaling ships. He produced over 4,000 barrels of sperm oil, 12,000 barrels of whale oil, and over 166,000 pounds of whale bone. Now, this made him very, very wealthy. He built his house in 1868 near Fort Hill at the end of the Victorian Age, and he styled it after the French Second Empire. Now, several whale bones have been installed over the years as an archway to the home. The Searcher by Margaret Furness. Dories are a common boat on Cape Cod. It's a simple, lightweight, shallow draft boat. It's around 20 feet long, and it has high sides, a flat bottom, and sharp bows, which made them easy to build. So for centuries, these dories have been used as traditional fishing boats and can be found in the coastal waters and in the open sea. Mashpee Wampanoag by Karen Kohler. Now, this is a Wampanoag Nipmuc Native American at a Mashpee powwow, which is a social gathering where Native people dance, sing, and socialize and honor their culture. Powwows continue today in Mashpee. The last painting we have here is Wave by Meg Schmidt. Waves have been eroding the coast of Cape Cod since it was formed, and the peninsula is now a fraction of its original size. The coast can lose somewhere between 3 to 20 feet a year. Now, one of the worst losses, of course, was a 300-car parking lot that was located just south of Coast Guard Beach when it was completely demolished by the blizzard of 1978. Also, the Nauset Lighthouse was in danger of falling into the cliff, and that was moved in November of 1996. So these are the paintings in this exhibit.
Thank you very much.